Hi, I'm Janice Small, and with me is the Reverend John Webster, one-time chaplain and farm manager of Dr. Graham's Homes. I have been on 4 bike rides with John, 2 from Calcutta, 1 from Kathmandu and 1 from Bhutan. The first one was in 2008. So John, can you tell me how the bike rides came about?
I can tell you exactly. My youngest son was with me in a party that went from Dr. Graham's Homes up to Bhutan to meet some of the folk in Bhutan who had been at school when we were there. And at some time or other, Johnny, who was a cyclist, said, why don't we do a bike ride? Or he'd love to do a bike ride from Bhutan to Dr. Graham's Homes. And this was September, after the rains and the roads were so bad. And we sort of said, that's ridiculous, you can't manage these roads. So from that we evolved the concept of, why don't we do Calcutta to Kalimpong? We had no idea what we were thinking about, but we said this repeats the road that many of the destitute children in Calcutta go to get to school and homes in Dr. Graham's Home, Calcutta to Kalimpong. So we investigated this as a possibility, and travel agents in Siliguri, Prakash with heat travel, planned the route and arranged camping sites and so on, and we started off on this unknown track from Calcutta. In what year was it?
Well, I was with you in 2008. I think it was 2007, the year before you did it with Johnny.
Yeah. Which was magic. And since then we've done several and raised a lot of money, because the conditions of participation were simply you pay all your expenses and raise at least £1,000.
Yeah.
So Calcutta, the roads just became almost dangerous, impossible. I had to investigate the possibility of Nepal, Kathmandu to Kalimpong, which was tremendously successful. Camps all the way around, beautifully organised by Insight Himalaya.
What I remember about going from Calcutta is we had a car in front of us and a car behind us to protect us from the traffic. And Prakash Gupta would be in the lead car, waving to us, counting the numbers, making sure we were all there. And the Calcutta trips I really enjoyed. I think the best, maybe it's because it's my first time in India and it was all so different to what I was used to, but the people would come running out their houses and wave and shout to us.
But you've done so much more than Calcutta to Kalimpong.
Well, John, you sold it as a life-changing experience, and I remember thinking, aye, right. But for me it was a life-changing experience, because that first bike ride, it was about 400 miles. And I remember thinking if I could do 200 I would be happy. But I managed to do the whole lot. And that let me see I could do long distance bike riding. So from there I went on and did Landsendage on a Groat on my own. I cycled across America.
That's the most impressive one.
Thailand and Malaysia. I've done the west coast of America, North Coast 500, numerous cycles, and it's all because of that first bike ride with you, that it gave me the confidence to go out and do it.
But you were young when you started, you see. I was too old then.
I was 60.
That's young. That's young.
Kenting has asked me to speak about the kind of bike I used. What I took was a flat bar hybrid bike called Spike the Bike. Just a flat bar. The gearing is low, and what I had in the back was 1132. On the front, a triple gearing, which you might not get now, which was 48, 38, 28. But again, a bike shop would keep you right on these technical terms. For tyres, I had 28mm, and I wouldn't recommend anything narrower. I remember in Bhutan, some of the Bhutanese men were looking at my tyres and going, oh, no way. And I'm going, yeah. They were used to more mountain bikes with the big, thick, knobbly tyres.
Well, I want to interrupt. If there are good cyclists watching this, follow Janice's instructions, but don't be put off. I just used the old bike I had, and it did fine.
Yes.
That's
yes.
all.
And there's plenty of support along the way.
Yeah.
And for your cycling, for your training, just go out regularly. Get used to putting your bum in the saddle. Do hills, not just the flat. On the flat, the bike will just roll. Anyone can do that. But to get your stamina up, you need to do hills. So do hills every week. But most importantly, pace yourself. Don't get carried along with the crowd. If the crowd goes faster, don't you go with them unless you're comfortable, because they will tire and you won't. You will arrive, hopefully, as fresh as when you started.
And don't bother if you trail behind. And I speak from experience, because on the bike rides, we arranged we'd go for 2 hours in the morning. We've changed all this, but initially we had 2 hours in the morning stop, and then every hour we stop, so that those who were really slow could catch up.
When you're the one at the back, you think it's a long time coming up, but those at the front have maybe just been there a short while, and anyway they're chatting, they're taking photos, they're not aware of the time, and the last person rolls in very quickly.
They're aware of old Webster. We have to wait for old Webster again, you know. But so I'm just saying that to encourage. Janice has developed into an excellent cyclist. I remain a fairly slow trudger, but you enjoy it just as much, and anyone can do it, anyone can attempt it.
Yeah.
But
I think the regular thing is the most important thing, not maybe to go out and do a blast of 50. Just go out, I would say 3 times a week, doing 25 to 30 miles. Just gradually build it up. And everyone is anxious before they go. They always think that they're going to be the most unfit, the one at the back. But don't let that stop you, because it's a wonderful experience. Nobody that I have been in the bike ride with has ever regretted doing it.
That's right, yeah. But you on the bike?
We had one chap, his name escapes me, who thought he would buy his bike in
That's
India,
right.
and he bought, is it a Hero bike?
Sorry, I didn't know.
I can't remember.
It's quite good though.
But within the first couple of miles, the seat had fallen off. And it had to be strapped
This
on.
is true.
Remember
but
that?
But in the first couple of miles, a cyclist who would be nameless fell off. And we discovered this lady couldn't go on bike, so one imperative she needed to know how to go on bike before he did. She broke her wrist. It was all very sad, very sad. But there's
a very good point. If you go on the trip, make sure you can go a bike.
Yeah, but there's a great backup team.
Yes.
And everything's
first class.
Everything's under control. I went to see Bhutan and
I found a very safe route to be on too. Very scenic route to
and
be
you have
on.
the mountains, and then you come along the plains, along the tea gardens,
That's right.
a long way through the bazaars.
Lovely part of India.
And it's all flat after that, except the last. So you start up in the hills, you finish up in the hills, with a flat bit in between. And
just put your fears aside. It's an amazing journey. Just do it. You won't regret it. I remember the first time when I was contemplating going, I asked so many people, should I go, shouldn't I go? I didn't really know John, and I thought, is it okay to go with John? I don't know. I don't know his setup. But the fun and the laughs we had in that first trip, and the friendships they've made.
Exactly.
I met Vander then.
That's so,
And Vander
Vander's
and I,
a former student of the Homes.
Vander Fraser, I'm still in touch with Vander. Vander visits me here. I visited her in Ireland, and it's been great. And initially with me, it was the cycle that drew me to the trip. I'd never heard of Dr. Graham's Homes before I saw your advert. But having done the cycle, you then get drawn into the homes and been involved in fundraising.
Exactly.
I'm now a sponsor a child, so when I go back and do the cycle, it's not just about the cycle anymore. It's getting to Dr. Graham's Home.
The glorious point of it all is the welcome you get from the children. When you climb up the final hill to Kalimpong, you really feel, and yes, my grandiosity went to the top of the mountain, you really feel important. You're welcomed as if you'd climbed Everest or something,
I've got a great wee video of John going up the road. They're all cheering him on.
But did you not
and
see it?
everything.
I asked two of them to shove me up the last bit, and two of the big boys shoved me up.
Oh,
Shoved me at the end, you know. So that was
I
that.
think I'd overtaken you by then.
You might well have done. You might well. Never ashamed to into the backup truck with your bike. So go for it,
Yes,
whether you're from Dr. Ames Holmes or not.
yes.
And
The fun way we had at night, chatting round the table.
but this is an Irishman from Carradale who took Sir Walter at the bike. One of the chats one night, he said, I'm going to talk when I get home, he says, to the local guild and so on. And I said, oh, you've got a great crowd there. He said, don't worry, if you open an envelope in Canada, you'll get a good crowd. Look, I'm sure I speak for Janet. I wish I was coming with you, but these days are over.
Yes. Well, I would come with you, but next year I'm off to Malawi.
Just one on your bike.
Yes. I've never been to Africa, so there's an opportunity and I'm going for it. So you see what happens when you go with John Webster on a bike ride to India, wondering if you can do 200 miles.
The idea was to raise funds for Dr. Ames Holmes.
That's right.
And Tenzing, who was on the last bike ride from Bhutan.
Uh-huh.
I'm delighted that it's the first time I think someone else has decided to do this. And a former student of Dr. Ames Holmes is organising a race. And we don't know who's going to watch this, Janice, but if you watch it, please, please, please support Tenzing. You'll have the time of your life, you'll enjoy it immensely, and above all, Dr. Ames Holmes will benefit.
Go Tenzing.